Friends, I can't believe that this is the last video in my video series I've been doing on Top 5 Wednesday. I am feeling a little bit sad about it, but there's a lot of excitement that is in this video, so I don't feel sad on that. Just, this is the final video in this series. Hello friends, happy Wednesday, so very excited that you're here. I really hope you've been enjoying this video series. I'll be talking about and featuring the top 5 manga manhwa releases. I think I've actually only done manga, actually saying that. I think, yeah, it's just manga. But the top 5 debut manga that came from a variety of publishers in 2024. I really have enjoyed it, and again, I hope you have too. If you have any suggestions or ideas for other video series, let me know. I did have an idea for something that I think I'm going to start doing. We're going to try it next month. Well, actually, next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. But today I'm doing the indie publishers. We've talked about all of the main ones like Viz, Yen Press, Seven Seas, Kodacha. I was trying to think, I was like, oh, it's a video. I think there was just those 4 videos, I think. So today I'm doing the smaller publishers. I don't feel like calling them indies exactly accurate, but they are the smaller publishers like Square Enix, Tokyo Pop, One Piece Books would be another one. Though I don't have any One Piece books because Yuzutoki Rhetoric was the only series I was reading by them, and unfortunately that ended, not debuted. Though I think it ended, I think it was in February or this month because it's still February. Anyway, let's go ahead, talk about these manga. They're in no certain order. The other one was Inklore. That is the 3rd publisher I'll be featuring. It's technically not a top 5 Wednesday video though. It's a top 4 Wednesday video because I didn't have a 5th one. I really went in deep, look through my reading journal that I have, seeing what I tracked, and I didn't really have, there were a few others that I read last year that one was from J Novel, but I didn't feel like they were the best of the indie publishers. Also, I decided not to do any manhwa for this video series, though I think when I was trying to look back to see it, because My Secretly Hot Husband, y'all, that was definitely a #1 debut release from Eyes Press last year. I love it, but I don't think I had enough to do 5. I'm gonna look again. If not, then we'll have another video next week, but I really don't think I have enough of that. But let's talk about this week's video and go ahead and dive right in. For #1, I am saying The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love. I have loved this series so much. Honestly, this volume really surprised me. I'm trying to think of, I remember. So I honestly stayed away from this manga for a hot minute because Luciana, our main female lead, is reincarnated into this otome game, and like most villainous manga, she wants to avoid the red flag. She wants to avoid her own ending / doom, and wants, to live a happy, safe life, and typically a quiet life. So that is what she is aiming to do. She tells herself, I'm just going to sort of avoid the love interest and do my own thing. Does it work out? No, it never does, but I never get enough of it. So that brings me to say, Luciana, she is reincarnated into this world. If I'm recalling right, she doesn't have a lot of the memories of the previous body's owner. Hopefully I'm not getting that mixed up with anything else. So she has been told who she is, what she's about, and how she's not doing that good in school. Well, this young man here is her older brother. And when I first heard about it, I was very nervous this was going to be, despite that she's not blood related in the sense she is reincarnated into this body, I really thought it might be like a brother-sister kind of relationship, and I said, no, that's a no-go for me. I stayed away from it, but then I saw a video from somebody I follow on Instagram doing a 1-minute review, and I was very intrigued. I checked it out, and I loved it. I really love villainous manga in general, which is no secret here, but what I really loved about this villainous manga and why I felt it stood out as some of the best villainous manga in general is there's so much action. We have this incredible battle between Luciana, well, I guess not really her, but there's a big battle that does happen, and it was so engaging. Plus, I'm hoping that one was in this volume, by the way. Yes, it is. And then Luciana was such a relatable character because she's never heard, like, was it her brother that when he he talks for the first time and there was no voice lines, like spoken ones in the game. And so when she hears him for the first time, she is just fangirling. And oh my goodness, the Black Lily, he is my favorite character in the series. I love him. I am shipping him hard with Luciana. There have been times I've wanted to abandon ship, but I'm still on that ship. I loved her interactions with him, and she's just so over the top, not like in a ditzy or bad kind of way, but more of like she's just, I guess awe would be the right word, that she's meeting these characters that she played in the game. So I love seeing these reactions because I just found them to be so incredibly relatable. And I will say too, about the sister-brother thing, the brother has never crossed any lines, even later on. I really don't think there will ever be like an actual romantic relationship there, even though at times it does have me like, what are you doing? It's just really, really good, and I have loved every single volume. The latest volume, excuse me, had me wanting to throw my manga because of the cliffhanger and how gripping it was. Each volume has continued to get better and better. I've really, really enjoyed it a lot and definitely would highly recommend it. For number 2, another series by Square Enix, and that is always a catch. Oh my goodness, if you're looking for a heroine who can literally kick butt and fight, this girl right here, I forget her name, right? Maria is your girl. I had a blast reading this manga, and I've been so excited to hear other people saying it was just so much fun. And I did do a first impression on this manga specifically, and I did with 2 others. I don't remember what they were, but I know I did with 2 other ones. But I love just how Maria is such a fun kick butt, doesn't put up with any nonsense, very passionate maybe about her family and helping be the big sister that she can, or the younger sister, excuse me, that she can, and support her family in the best way that she knows. It happens to be her father never thought he'd have another child. She's the youngest, and so she's been dotted on basically a whole bunch. And then her father, I think he ends up remarrying and he has a son, and now everything is going to his son. And he's like, oh, Maria, you need to go get married now. And she's like, I need to get married? And she is not having the best of luck. So much so that she goes to another country, live with her cousin. But the thing is, when she goes, she's trying to have the best first impression, like, oh, I'm going to find a match. I'm going to find a husband, make my family and my dad proud. But when she goes, this man here, the prince of that country, he breaks the engagement. Yes, he breaks the engagement. She's not even engaged. He was trying to break the engagement with her cousin, but mistakes Maria for the cousin. She lets him have it. She gives him some words and puts him in his place. That begins Maria's journey, and honestly, the prince here wants to know more about her, and so it's their romantic love story. I have been seeing it the whole time. It's so much fun and very funny to read, and I think too what's really interesting is you would think that since Maria beats up people and that's not something I can relate to, that there would not be a relatability, but Maria has these softer moments where we see how she could be very naive and how she could be very uncertain and sometimes anxious, or at least where she was scared. Those were the moments I really found her endearing and was able to relate to her stronger than I expected when I first started this manga. I'm thrilled that volume 2 is coming out. It's definitely one of the ones I'm most anticipated for, and looking forward to releasing because I just have loved it so much, and I'm pretty sure this one lived. Yes, it did end on a cliffhanger, and I can't wait to see what happens, y'all. I can't wait to see what she does. I can't wait to see this prince swoon over her when she kicks butt and does all of the cool things, because she's genuinely just so cool. So if you're looking for a really funny story, kick butt heroine, and you want some swoon with the romance and the prince, this is a great manga to check out. For number 3, technically this isn't necessarily new because we've had it digitally for a while, but with this releasing last year, despite the discourse and the controversy that was around it at the time, I'm so excited we have it, and that is My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. I'm just thrilled we have this in print. Do I wish that things were better about this release? For sure. I really do feel that way as well, but I do have a video review of it when I read it digitally numerous times if you're curious of my thoughts on this. So again, it's not new per se, but the physical manga actually releasing last year was everything. This definitely is an anime, very popular. I've only seen the first episode because I'm just so bad at watching anime in general, but it was really strong. I love it. I'm not even really sure what to to say since I know what comes. And I'm like, I don't know. The one thing I can say is I have reread this series 3 to 4 times. I've sort of lost count because I reread it a lot digitally. It became sort of a comfort series at that time. Being able to reread it physically has been everything. It's been such a joy. If you're looking for a gamer kind of manga, this is such a good one to try. Also, if you're looking for look, sorry, I sigh like that because people call this an age gap, and yes, there is an age gap, but it is not a like red flag age gap, okay? Just 2 years. He is 18, Akane is like 21, 22. It's nothing bad, okay? At least for me, I was fine with it. Never even knew it was an issue until Twitter was like, this is an issue. Everybody feels differently, so that's okay. But if you're looking for, I would say, not an older romance, but Akane is in college, so I just feel like they're a little bit older when it comes to like high schoolers and, you know, early college years. So if you're looking for that age range, I would say another one. Sort of slow burn romance. I really love the friendships that develop and how Akane, from this heartbreak, because it opens up with Akane being dumped. She has been playing this game with her boyfriend and she goes sort of to vent on there, and that is when she engages with Yamada, and he is just like, whatever. He did not leave a good first impression. And so Akane decides, when she finds out like there's going to be some kind of, not festival, but they're holding an event in honor of this game, and if you go, you can get like a special item. And this is important to note because her boyfriend left her for somebody that he met in the game. And so she decides to go, she dolls herself up, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make him jealous and wish that he never dumped me. But she wasn't prepared to see her ex-boyfriend with his new girlfriend so happy. And so she happens to come cross paths with Yamada and begs him to pretend to be her boyfriend for just this moment. He reluctantly says yes. So begins their love story, though the fake dating ended like the next morning. So it was literally just for that moment, but they literally do start catching feelings for each other, and it's really satisfying. I feel like I loved all the volumes, but I do feel like coming back to this series physically, I could see some people saying that it's sort of slow because I did have a few friends who were like, I'm about to drop it. And while I don't really like giving the advice of like give it 3 volumes, I did feel coming back to the series and reading up to volume 4. Volume 4 is like where I got very invested. I've reread from the beginning, like from the actual start, but I do feel like once Akane has made friends with a lot of the gamers in the group or like in the guild, and there's feelings, you know, romantic feelings happening and whatnot, I really feel like the story kicks off. So I would say maybe potentially consider giving it a second chance if you're in that position and you're curious. Also, it's on Manga, so if you ever want to go read it on there, I think it's just like what, $5 a month if they haven't changed their prices, if nothing has changed about the tiers or anything. Hopefully it hasn't. But it used to be too that you could read like 1 chapter for free a day, and I did that. And then once I got to like where you could read it for free, I was like, we're getting that subscription and keep reading. So I am so thankful to be holding this physically. It is such a win for the manga community, and just have been really excited to be back in this story world again. For number 4, for my final one, which feels really weird to say, I was like, oh, where's the other one? I forgot. No, I didn't forget. But for number 4, I am saying the person I loved asked me to die in my sister's stead. If I didn't review it with that first impression of always a catch, I believe in the corner because I also did a first impression of this volume. Now, this volume is very different, I feel like, than what I typically read. I say it, I've said it before, I'm not a fan of angst, but yet I keep picking up these angsty series. It is about our main female lead, Wisteria. She is living her life. She is an older sister. She has a little bit of magical ability or infinity, I guess you would say. She has been in love not with this man. That's a little bit confusing, but she has been in love with a man called Bright, who is this guy here. But maybe you can tell from the title of this, Bright is actually in love with her sister. In this world, there's no magic necessarily in the world itself, but there is magic that can affect the world, like, was it Masmia? I think is what I say it. That can affect the people, and so they do need people to go to this pre-dawn realm, as they call it, to help keep that Masmia in place, not affecting the normal world where everyone lives. To help with this, what they do is there's always like one person that goes, there's a name for them. as its guardian. They go, and the previous guardian has passed away, and the reason they know this is because, you know, magic's coming in, Masmi is affecting the world, so they decide to sort of do this weird I thought it was weird, this weird process of where they are going to randomly choose a young woman, take her to be the guardian whether she wants to or not. That lucky person that was chosen is Wistria's sister. Her family, Wistria's family is devastated, so much so they end up asking her, the parents, which I have major beef with, ask her, will you just go for your sister because you might make it? Because mainly anybody who goes to this pre-dawn realm doesn't live very long and they're by themselves. There's nobody else, and once you go to the pre-dawn realm, you can never come back to the actual, like, your regular world. So you're sealing your fate by going. And so they don't want that for the younger sister. And because Wistria is sort of like adopted, she's not the real daughter, these parents act differently about their actual child. Bright, and on the other hand, he vows that he will do everything on his power to make sure that her sister doesn't have to go. Of course, everybody says no, because who wants to go and seal their fate in that kind of way? But he comes to Wistria and he says, will you please go on your sister's behalf? And she ends up heartbreakingly say yes. And she goes with this magical sword, who is awesome, by the way. That is pretty much the story. I don't know if it talks about, yeah, you could say, I guess going a little bit further, because you might be wondering, who is this guy? Because he looks a lot like Bright, but he's not Bright. He is Bright's son, who just happens to have the same face as the man she loved, you know, before she is sent to the pre-dawn realm. And it was agony for that. Like, it was just cruel to make this man who has a horrible rotten attitude come in. He says a whole bunch of things, not even realizing that our girl here is reeling from not only there being another person in the pre-dawn realm with her, but also that he has a very close 98% match concerning his face, just like the man she loved. And it was just heartbreaking. It was so good though. It was so good. It was like pain you don't want to swallow, but you keep swallowing because the things around it, or like there's some kind of good flavor to it. And literally that is what was happening. Top that with the really stunning art. It was beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. So much pain. The art is just so beautiful. Part of why I really love this series, or this volume, is it reminds me a lot of the Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent, which I do have a video review of. I love that series. It was amazing. So good, so fun. And I feel like Wistria has very similar qualities to Say, just in a lot more of a heart-wrenching, upsetting kind of way, where there's really not that much happiness. This is not a fluffy read. There ain't even much humor to help offset the pain. It's just like a little bit of happiness, pain, shock, pain, heartbreak, pain. I mean, it just continues on a downward slope when it comes to the pain levels. It's just, or maybe upward, because it's just really, really hard. But it's written so compellingly that I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And yes, I do have volume 2. Well, I have volume 2. I have it. It's in my huge honking big TBR stack because I didn't read much this past month, so it's in my stack to read more. But I did pre-order volume 3 sometime over the weekend during my birthday because I saw that there was a sale on it on Books A Million, and I had a coupon and I said, let's do this. So I am excited to read more of this series, but I really hope it's just not as painful. Yeah, if you're looking for a painful story that's going to rip at your heartstrings and make you feel so much for our heroine, also pretty angry at this guy who comes in acting like he's all that, like boy, get out of here, get out of here, because it's been, I think when she's in the pre-dawn realm and he comes, she's been there for like 20 years or something like that. If it's not that long, it's been a really long time. Like a lot of time has passed, I know, which obviously it has. If Bright has a son and he's this old, like, yeah, a lot of time should have already passed. She handles things with such grace, and she's so hard on herself when she's struggling in the beginning, saying that she's a rotten person because she doesn't want to go, and she doesn't want her sister to be happy because she wants to have Bright's affection. And I'm like, girl, you're a normal human being. Like, I would be worried if you're like, yes, take me to the pre-dawn realm, let me leave the man I love, and I'll be alone forever. Like, I'd be genuinely concerned, girl, if you were acting like that, okay? So she's a normal human, and I want so much for her, and I genuinely hope that there'll be happiness. I don't really know where this series is going to go. I'm not really here for the romance. I'm not here for the romance. There's no not really. I'm just not. I wouldn't say it's bad, but there's not. Based off future covers, I feel like there's going to be a romance. But right now, no. I'm here for our girl. I'm here for our girl's happiness. Here for the sword with his shenanigans, because he's a talking sword. He's got some antics, and I really love his banter with our girl. Like, it is wonderful. And the short story in this, by the way, was very, very good. So yeah, all 4 of these, as you can see, I loved them all. They're all really, really good. I'm sorry I don't have a 5th one to complete the top 5 Wednesday here, but I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some, I don't know if I'd call these lesser known series, but you know, they don't seem to be on many people's TBRs, or at least less popular, but not any more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like, or hopefully I said that right. Like, they're really good and they should be on more people's TBRs. That's what I'm trying to say. So let me know, yeah, what would you suggest? Have you read any of these? Let me know down below. And again, I hope you enjoyed this series. If you have any suggestions for other similar video series, let me know. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!